Hi guys, you're in the right place if you want to learn how to draw by understanding what you're looking at rather than breaking things down into shapes. And today I wanted to try another vector drawing. So I'd like you to get a scrap piece of paper and a pen, or if you've got a micron pen, you can use that. And I would like you to get two colored pencils. So just whatever you can find in the drawer or in the cupboard, not your good stuff, just and they don't have to be orange and black, but just if you can find a couple colored pencils. What I'd like to do today is, just while you're getting organized, I'd like to do a very simple vector drawing, and then I would like to color it. So the objective today is really to understand, as usual, just understand yes, that's way too big of a hummingbird. The shape, get down very few lines to, sort of outline the vector, and then use our colored pencils to do some shading. So I've got my black pen as well, and I don't want you guys to have to feel like you've got to have anything expensive or special equipment to be here. So you know what? I'm not going to bother using my micron pen today. Just because I have one, it doesn't mean that you guys have to have one. So I'm just going to use my black pen. And are you set up now? Because I was thinking that I don't know, I really had a bee in my bonnet to do a hummingbird, and it's not because it's like lots of snow and -10 outside and I'm thinking about the summer, but I think that vector drawings are very, very powerful, because it's just very few lines, but it captures the essence of what you're trying to draw. And when you understand how to place those lines down, you can alter your drawing in a number of different ways. So just to, I'm going to talk more about that as we go along. But what I'd like to do is, first of all, draw where you can see. I want to start at the top of the bill, and you see how the feathers off the bill and through the throat sort of go back and protect the head. And this is because if it's a trumpet flower where the bill has to go all the way in to get the nectar, and then the tongue comes out and gets the nectar, it's true the flower wants a whole bunch of pollen to go onto the bird, which it will from the stamens, but the bird itself doesn't want to be blinded when it's going into the flower. You know what I mean? So we have to have like a very low angle going back, especially off the forehead. So that's the way most hummingbirds are built, and that's what we're going to draw. So without hitting the camera, I am going to just do a very low angle on the forehead to the back. The bill is long and narrow, so we want a small space, and we're going back. And then, because of the way of the orientation of this photo, we go down to the throat. Just take your time. Take your time. No clenching of your fists or anything. Keep your hand loose on your pen. And we're doing this scoop under the chin. Okay, now back to the forehead. We've got off the nose, in front of the eye, and this gentle slope up to the back of the head. Now, large eye relative to the width of the bill, and see how it seems to be further back from the edge of the bill. We do a lot of warblers and songbirds where the eye is very close to the bill. So whatever size head you're sketching, the eye, this large eyeball, is going to go basically in the middle. Now we've got this round edge at the back of the head. Take your time, just round that off, and we're coming to the back of the head. Now see how the throat travels down further than the back of the head, and then so just flesh that down further if you need to go, and then you're straight into the chest. Right here, the upper chest, down through the rib cage to the little curve for the tummy, and here we've got the upper back, just a little bit of it, and straight into the shoulder. This long width for the wing here. And then we've got, so carry this down, we've got the hump. This is the upper back, this is the thickness of the bird, and then this is the lower back. So we've got the upper back, the thickness of the bird, and then the lower back. And off into this short tail. The thickness of the bum feathers. And the legs are always tucked in. And then you just see the toes. And then toes for the other foot. Just use light pressure on your pen. We just want to get some outlines down. Back up. Now we're going to do the bill. Long and narrow, please. And not to a point, just try to curve a little bit at the end. So when the bottom mandible comes out, just curve it up to the top one. And then this is the markings, actually. Now, for the wing, for this one here, turn your page and just take it, see how this angle right here, it's larger than 90 degrees. I'm going to take mine down a little bit. Lots of strength in the wing. And then take this back into the body. And then this is the top of the wing on the other side. And all these flight feathers on this wing are hidden by this. So, now I'd just like you to fix them up before you go heavy on your outline. Just change, oh, the tail should be longer. change any of the angles if you're not happy with what you've done before you go heavy with the final lines for your vector. I shade in the eyeball, leaving a white reflective section on the eyeball. And then just, you can, if you want, carefully put in borders for the markings. Not excessive, because it's still a vector. We don't want to do too many details. I want to keep it clean, basic. And fairly simple. These are little tiny birds, and it's going to end up taking up like half my page. Oh, okay, so with the markings, just put in basic feather borders on the wings if you want. Okay, how's yours coming along? Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, okay? This is just a vector drawing. We just want a simple outline of a hummingbird. Now, if like this is kind of like okay. So if you're happy with what you've done, what I'd like you to do is go back, and I want you to do heavier markings. On your outline. It's also an opportunity to change any of the angles if you don't like them. There's a slope back for the chest, upper chest. Getting into the tummy, the lower stomach, loose feathers by the feet. Black little tooties, lots of confusion where the claws are. Feathers at the curve of the body. Then the bum feathers, which are down. The feathers underneath the tail. Take that back. Make the tail longer if you need to, like I had to. There's a slight fork in it. Now when we curve up and come off, the tail is quite the stabilizer for them. Short but powerful. Then we're curving up to the back of the bird by the hips. And then we've got the upper back. Sloping to the back of the neck. Curve at the back of the head. And then I just want to narrow this, slope this down a little bit more. Now for the wing, if like honestly, the wings are in like every possible position. So if the wing that you've drawn isn't exactly like this one, who cares? It's still correct what you've done. But what I'd like you to do is just use heavy pressure. Whatever wing you've done, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. I would like you to try to do a good job on the size though. Don't make it too short. And then ruffle the edge. Coming back to the body of the bird. And then the curve for the other shoulder. And that wing back there. If you like the position of the eye, I could have done mine a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do is just increase the top part of the eyeball. Push it up a little bit more. See this space between the top of the eye and the top of the head? That's a little bit. And for the bill, if you like the length, well done you. If you don't, and you want to make it a little bit longer, if you feel it needs that, go ahead. Now, okay, so for that, I think that's good enough. What I'd like you to do now is just with some of the markings that are more distinct, like these throat feathers. This is a Rufous Hummingbird. We don't have them around here. But we have the ruby-throated, and when the sunlight is on the throat feathers, it's absolutely stunning. But if just carefully outline some of the distinct areas on the bird where it does have the markings. Maybe even see the feathers off the cheek. Let's just put that in there too. So, why do I think these vector drawings are important? Because I just want you to give yourself credit for your beautiful brain and what you're understanding. The bill and the eye are pretty much always going to be in line. We've got this sharp slope off the bill and then down into the throat. A thick, powerful little body, wings that can be in any position at all, and the body changes its orientation while the head stays level. So for example, if the flower is here and the bird is coming up from below, the bill, the head, and the eye are all going to be in line. When you understand that, you can draw the body this way, you can draw the body this way, you can draw the body down. So when you understand how the bird is put together, and the neck is the joint that moves the body compared to the head, you could take today's lesson and draw another 9 hummingbirds. All you could do the head and the bill exactly the same. You could do the body level, you could do the body almost at a 90-degree angle, you could do the bird curved that it's coming in, you know, around. You could do the head exactly like this and the body up, so it's coming down to the flower. So you can do so many different sketches as a vector without looking at a photo, simply because you understand how the bird is put together. And that's the power of these vector drawings as far as I'm concerned. I think people, well, I don't know, I should just speak for myself, but in the past, I've looked at, you know, simple vector drawings, and it's like, oh, you know, that's just so basic and whatnot. But the point is that every single line has to be really accurate, because there's so few lines, right? And that's why, like, it's got to look good, and you could do something good because you understand how it's put together. Now, the next part of today's lesson, did you find a couple of crayons, you guys? Just like anything is going to do. Okay, it doesn't matter about color. What I want us to practice is, you can already do a kick-ass little sketch like this, and then if we mess around with our colored pencils and get accustomed to doing light pressure and then heavier pressure and then different layers. I mean, this is just scrap paper, remember? It's like, I don't want to do anything like hardcore and expensive and blah, blah, blah. So we're just keeping it simple, keeping it real. So if you've got a black colored pencil, great. And you know what? We're basically done with this, but it's not too much in my way, so I'm not going to bother moving it. So I want you to practice really, really light pressure. And the first thing we're going to do is shade in the bill. That's it. Okay? Some darkness under the throat, which we know it's going to be shaded under the throat regardless. And it's darker because of the markings. There's some black mixed in with the orange on the nose band, the forehead. Shading here. We've got some different tones of the feathers in the wing. I'm gonna darken up this one here at the back. We're doing very, very, it just, this kind of grayish that's coming through the wing, those are the edges of the flight feathers that are moving so quickly, and it's the overlap that is causing the shading there. We've got some black in the tail, but I don't want you using heavy pressure right now. We're just getting our markings down a little bit. Rotate the pencil in your hand. See how I didn't bother sharpening it? If you have expensive pencils, like the Prismacolor or whatever it is that I've got, or the Faber-Castell, what do I have? Expensive, oh, that's a crappy one. What are my expensive ones? Does it matter? Yeah, they are Prismacolor. Okay. See, every time you sharpen an expensive pencil, you're wasting the core of it. So what you do is you just like rotate the pencil in your hand so that you're constantly using that edge. And if you have to put it down a finger or down 2 fingers to get that edge closer to the paper, so what? At least you're not wasting. Okay, color in his little feet a little bit. There's some gray through the tummy. A little bit through the throat. It's very, very, very basic. We're going to come back and use heavier pressure later. And that's it. Grab your orange. And we're just going to, when you have a cheap pencil, 3-star, I don't even know, okay. There can be something very hard in the core, so you just have to make sure that the edge that you're gonna use is gonna lay down some color. Stay away from the white. I don't have red, but if you want to grab a red or whatever, that's fine. And just very lightly put down some color for the rest of the body. Stay away from the white throat. He's got some white in the tummy. You know, you can, it's your vector sketch. You can do whatever you like with whatever colors you like. Hummingbirds come in all sorts of beautiful shades. So this is just practice with putting down layers of color. That's all I want to practice with the colored pencil. Even cheap colored pencils, you can still kind of do a good job. Okay, so if you've got your base color down, just use slightly heavier pressure. We want to have gradients, okay? So you can't go nuts when you're getting the lighter tones down, because then there isn't going to be any texture left in the paper to pick up gradients. It's going to be all squished, so you're not going to be able to get down a variety of shades. This is dark here because it's the curve of his body. And then dark with the bum feathers. Also in shadow too. Are you gritting your teeth? Is your jaw clenched? If it is, loosen up through your face. And your spare hand, keep that all nice and loose. I'm sure you've seen videos where the artist is sketching and the spare hand isn't relaxed. And then the armpit, these feathers here are compressed under the wing. So there's a little bit of darkness there. And just see how I'm picking up my pencil crayon and just laying down a little bit of color. Stay away from the tummy. We don't want to have it all orange. There's quite the collar here, which leads up to the shoulder and the upper back. It's just very, very simple color that I want you to lay down. I'm using slightly heavier pressure because I'm likely not going to have to come back to this area with this collar. Just keep turning your pencil crayon And if you need to get a sharper edge, put it on a steeper angle in your hand. A little bit of orange through the throat. Now the upper back. These feathers are also compressed because of the angle of the head. So we need shading here, and then shading with the curve at the back of the head. It's really, really, really simple, basic shading so that you can understand how things are put together. We've got some compression of the feathers around the eye and coming off the cheek. And then these are like the reddish, so we want to make those darker. And we want to make these feathers on the throat darker as well. And see how I'm taking this orange right up into the black? This is also something that you're going to learn to do when you are creating. Oh, get back here. Talking too much. When you want to create a colored sketch with depth, got to practice layering your colors so you can pick up those undertones in your work. It's off the shoulder. This is the bone right here for the wing. So we've got this sharper edge. And inside, that's where the feathers are attaching. Now, see what you've done and see if you're happy with this preliminary shading that you've put down, because we're going to go back and grab our black and use an edge if you need to, if you can find it. No need to sharpen. I have to lower my pencil crayon a bit more in my hand to get a better edge, and use heavier pressure to get the darker shade that I want. So basically gonna, now light pressure, just go back and carefully add these darker undertones. Actually, I think I'm gonna just find a soft edge on this pencil crayon. That's not working. Just wanna, all right, excuse me while I try to figure out what I want to do. And then if we go back to the face, we can, on top of the orange that we've done, just darken up a little bit to give a little bit more definition here. I did this orange patch, this a bit darker. And then underneath the throat, of course, coming off the bottom of the bill. Now, when you're using cheap scrap paper, like what we've got going on, there's not a lot of teeth in there's not the layered composition in the paper. So if you use heavy pressure, you're squishing all the little grooves, and that means that the paper can no longer have little spaces to pick up the coloring from your pencil. So you're not going to get the same effect as if you're using good quality materials, but the lesson is all the same. You got to start out with light pressure so you don't go too dark, and then you're screwed as far as getting definition goes. Rotating the pencil crayon in your hand is important as well. And then rather than sharpening, just figure out how you can get a darker, sharper edge of your pencil. You know, and this is basically it. I've just done a little vector drawing. I'd like to just fix up this orange. There's a little bit more orange through the top part of the wing than I've captured. You don't want to be dicking around too much. It's just nice to sort of please don't think that these are simple. I would never ever use that word to describe a vector drawing, but it does give you lots and lots of opportunity to practice your outlines, the fundamental shape of the bird, which then you can replicate in a whole bunch of different flight positions. You could go heavier with the orange if you like. And like this should be it. Oh, let's see if you can just add a little bit of black in with your orange to get some depth to the orange, to that rust. Maybe, maybe not. I think I said before, the worst thing for you to do is buy those huge colored pencil sets that have a ton of colored pencils in them. You never want to do that, because that really impedes your ability to learn about colors and how to blend and layer, how to create different shades using just a few pencil crayons. It's like your paints, right? I've only bought the primary colors and black and white. That's it. I'm not spending $300 buying like a whole bunch of different shades of paint. Then your brain just gets totally confused about trying to match everything. So, quick little video that turned out not to be too quick because of all the chatting I've been doing. And yeah, as long as he's got some good character around the face, it's always important. Okay, so we can leave it at that. So, oh, and the other thing you can do, you know what, if your paper is completely squished and it's not picking up any more tones from the your colored pencil, you can always go back and use your pen, because chances are good that the ink is going to lay down on the paper. So for example, if your bill is super narrow and you can't get your pencil crayon in there to shade up the bottom part of the bill, you can use your pen to do that. No worries. Okay, you guys, so that's it for today. And as always, thanks for your company. I'll see you next time.